Alright, hey everyone, I'm going to show you how to take a letter and fill it in with embroidery stitches to embellish your projects in like just this really pretty customizable way. Now I first saw this idea on Pinterest, and if I go to my Pinterest I'll show you the embroidery stitches board. You'll click on that. Or you can just, search on Pinterest on your own. But you can see I've collected a number of these letters, and I'm not going to go through every single letter, and there's no point in me doing that. This video is for the overall concept of how to create your own. So you can see, though, there are some similarities when you look at these letters. There are some thicker parts of the letter, and there's some thinner parts of the letter. They kind of all share that in common. The other thing they share in common is what stitches they use to fill in the thicker and the thinner parts. So if you look at this B, you can see on the thicker part here, they've got like a button stitch flower, they've got a daisy out of lazy daisy stitches with some French knots in the middle for the bud. They've got like some hydrangeas with either, French knots or colonial stitches. They've got some bullion roses, and then as it gets thinner, you can see they've got some they've got these little rose buds out of bullion stitch, and then they do the stem stitch or the outline stitch depending on what curve you're dealing with. And if you go back and look at another letter, you'll see there's some similarities. Again, here's a C, and this has the button stitch flower, the hydrangeas, these lazy daisy flowers again. So you can kind of see there's some overlap, and you just really make it your own. That's the beauty of these things, at least I think so. So how to plan this. I pulled up Microsoft Publisher. I just happen to like that program, but you can use any program that you like. And you can see off to the side I had some A's here. My daughter, her name is Audrey, if you're new to my channel. So I'm doing this for her. So I've got some A's off to the side, and these were A's that I kind of liked, but the A that I decided on, the font that I decided on, was called Stylish Calligraphy Demo. And this is a font that I believe I downloaded this one. And just really quick, if you don't know how to download a font, you can go and Google free fonts download. You can see it's already there. And this is the one that I use. It's called 1001freefonts.com. They have a ton of fonts. They break them down into categories. I tend to gravitate towards the handwritten ones, but really you could sit here and go through these fonts for hours and hours and hours, and I've been guilty of it. So let's just say Cool Hand Luke. We're going to download that one just to kind of show how to do it. We're going to say OK to save the file, and when it's done downloading, you can extract it. Just go to your downloads folder, right click, extract all, and then the last part of that is to open your control panel. You see, that's my control panel. Go to your fonts folder, and then you're just going to drag this over, and you can see installing Cool Hand Luke Trial. So that installs the font for you. Okay, so now going back to the publisher. What's so great about doing this on computers? A couple things. One is that you can trace something that has, the actual lines all there for you to trace. If you don't need to trace something, if you're like I'm not an artist, okay, I gotta have something to trace. So if you can trace it, bravo to you. But the other great thing is that you can enlarge, or you can resize it to fit your project. So you can come over with your piece of fabric, hold it up to your computer. Your computer has a backlight, so it acts as a light box. That's another great benefit, and you can kind of shines through your fabric, and you can see if you like the size of it and easily change it. So once you get the size and all of that stuff that you like, then what was helpful for me is I made it a color other than black. So I just went with gray, but you could have done any color that you wanted. And what that allows you to do is once you print it out, then you can actually draw on top, since it's not black, you can draw on top like what flowers you want where, what flowers you want in the thicker parts and what flowers you want in the thinner parts, what colors you want to make sure they're distributed the way you want to do it, just how you want to customize your letter. You can just give it a little bit of planning out. Now I will say with these letters, your planning is kind of like a rough idea, because it's going to evolve, if you will, and you'll see what I mean when you start to take on your letter. But, so once I had it all planned out, then I traced it on my fabric, and I will tell you, I am loving, this is a new thing for me, but I am loving this Pilot friction ball. I might be saying that wrong, but I am loving, loving, loving this pen. I have been using this stupid Dritz water soluble marker for way too long, and the stupid sucker comes back and revisits you even after you want it gone. You can put your fabric in water and it will just reappear like that annoying little friend of yours. No, I really try to not give reviews on things that are new to me, but I feel very confident in recommending this pen because I have a dear friend of mine who lives in Savannah who told me about this pen like at least 2 years ago, if not 3 years ago, and I should have listened to her back then and gotten one. But, and she's not the only one. There's other people who have mentioned this pen to me. It is amazing. Instead of it being erased with water, it is heat activated. So you just take your iron, wipe it over, and it's gone, and it does not reappear. The other great thing is that if your eyes are giving you issues, this is a very light blue, and some people have issues seeing it, whereas this is a vibrant blue. They also have a vibrant orange and pink, and I think there might be some other colors, but they're just way easier to see, way easier in your eyes. So once you have your letter traced, then it's time to get stitching. And somebody requested me, for me to do this video, and I am thanking them because they have lit the fire under my butt. I've been meaning to make videos on like embroidery stitches, and this is finally like, okay, I've sat down and have done them now, and they are all linked below. So any of the flowers that you see in my letter, if you look in the description box, you can see on how to do each individual flower. But I just went with my big flowers first, so I did all of my big flowers. And again, those are all linked below. And then after that, I did the stem or outline stitch, depending on where I was in the curve, to fill in the small little portions. And when I did this, I went from left to right, okay? And the idea behind that, the reasoning, is that if you want it to look like you've, kind of handwritten this, if you will. So if you have any curves that overlap each other, you want to go left to right. That way the right part is overlapping the left part, if that makes sense. So once I did all of the thin stitching, then I went and filled in with leaves. And then after the leaves, I went in and filled in with the small flowers. And then at this point, I've gotten the majority of the letter complete. The majority of it is on there. And it's starting to look, in my mind, a little bit mucky with the pen still on there. So I took it to my ironing board. Now, and if you will want to put a towel down, especially if you've done a bullion stitch or any other like 3D stitch, you're going to want to put a big thick towel down and then put your fabric face down on that towel so you don't squish your stitches that you've worked so hard on. So yeah, so after that I ironed the marker out just so I could see what was left, where my gaps were, just where I wanted to fill in, where I still wanted some stitches and some embroidery work. And then you could fill in with, French knots, with more little flowers, with more leaves. This is your project. You make it your own, You could even do things like, I think it'd be cool with beads. And you could do like seed beads. If you do seed beads, I would highly recommend Delicacy beads. I believe it's a brand. I'm not sure if it's a type or a brand, but Fusion Beads sells them. That's where I get mine. And I'm not a bead expert, but they're very uniform seed beads. I've bought other ones from like Michael's and Joann's, and they're not the same as these. Also, the inside diameter are much bigger than the ones you'll get from those stores, which makes it easy to use just like a regular, millimeter or sharps needle. And you can just, most of the time, just stick it right through and it's no big deal. You don't have to switch over to a bead needle, which are so cumbersome to use. You could also use those little pearl beads. I mean, the options on this project are just endless, and that's what I think are so fun about it, is you can customize it to be your project, and they're just so really pretty. So I hope you have fun with this project. I hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. And as always, I appreciate y'all for watching, and I hope to catch y'all next time.